I'm live. I hear me. We're good.
All right, part two. Part two. Sorry, everybody. All right. All right. Hey, we got the chone in the house. Look at this. I
Good
feel
evening,
I,
everybody.
I feel all special inside now. Okay,
What's
hold
up,
on a
fam?
second. It's going, dude. It's been a long couple days for me. Can everybody hear? Everybody hear? All
We good, guys?
right.
Everybody hear me out there in Twitter land, YouTube land?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're
YouTube.
good.
All right, perfect. All right, I'm gonna switch it over to Chone. We'll let Chone run with this for a second. And ready, set, go.
What's up, everybody? All right, so check it out. Do you see my screen up there?
Yep, yep. You're
All
good.
right, perfect. So, a couple thoughts. I got a chance to kind of catch up with what Vamp was saying earlier in the show. Excellent, and I agree with a lot of what you're talking about here. Um, this is this is a really critical time, really trying time right now for Bitcoin. Where I mean, let's face it, we just dropped like $1,200 in what 3.5 days here. I mean, this was an epic move, and currently
Took
we
how
are
long?
still.
Took how long to get there?
I know it was like we can count
Erased
it
erased
hours.
like 20 days of gains.
Yeah, this was all of August. All right. How much charting, how much TA, how much like just detailed analysis did we do through all this here, only to just blast through it? Clearly nothing held this to 64, and now currently we're right at this area here. Now I found this channel here with quite an interesting note where um, we have a resistance line up here, we have a clear center line, and I believe we definitely have a very defined complete lower support line. Now this dotted red line here represents our current 2018 lows around 5760 area there, and we're basically does coincide with our lower channel support somewhere around sometime next week potentially. Now we're trying to figure out what makes an oversold area. We had seen oversold areas in the past, and we kind of have a sense on our daily chart, our higher time frames, of what really can be significant in terms of these bearish moves outside of the standard deviation. So we're still way lower than the EMAs and the MAs I like to follow, my 26, my 12, my 55, my MA 100 and 200 on the hourly. We see here on the 4-hour chart, let me auto it there, that as well, we are still way down here. Now I'm going to pull up my Bollingers here because we want to see kind of what kind of bearishness and how wide our BBs are. Now, when we had our very bear break, our BBs spread out incredibly long on our 4-hour chart, and we're slowly and slowly tightening them back up, but they're still pretty wide here. So I would not be surprised of more several hours of some sideways price action to kind of get these indicators to come a little tighter, which could bring us our next major move. I'm looking here at my RSI on the 4-hour. Now we did get able to have our head poke above our 30 area on the RSI, but I mean we're just mired in these depths here. Let me go back here to August, when we had seen that kind of bearishness too, and we had seen areas here where we kind of have these false breakouts, come back very bearish there, and then finally when we were able to get above 30, we were able actually to hold that and have a nice bearish move. So we're beginning to set up areas here where we're trying to find support and look for any kind of bullish divergence. We're still angled bearishly on our MACD 4-hour, and our Chalkin bottomed out very bearishly and is slowly trying to crawl its way back up. We see where our center line is here and how far it actually has to go. So, obviously after selling off significantly as we have here on these past couple of days, you're trying to see some areas of stability. I wanted to do a couple fibs here that set up kind of where we're currently finding support. And if you literally take the area where we basically fell off a cliff to where we initially found support around 6,300, and then to our top off where we got as high as around 65.46 or so on the Bitfinex exchange there, you can see we are finding support at an extension of this wave here, right at the 0.382 fib level. Two very nice wicks here on our hourly chart basically shows that there's no one willing to get selling really below our 61, let's say 30 area here, and that's held for now. We see where other levels can bring us down to the 618, 58.77, which corresponds kind of in that area of our lower, channel support line I drew out here on our hourly chart. Now, I don't know if this kind of qualifies for a valid HNS here, but in because it's so angled as it is. But I mean, I have a defined, shoulder there, a pretty defined head here, and just kind of the makings of a very defined right shoulder here. And I don't know if this kind of has validity with this kind of an angle, but it's kind of there. And just so we're kind of all aware of it and what this kind of means, as if we were going to do a
Whew.
full head to neckline retrace and kind of pull that all the way down from wherever we end up breaking through. If we actually do go that bearish, then that could potentially bring us around that 4,700 area, which is an area that we've talked about a lot of times. I put a tweet out a little bit ago talking about, where is it, right here, this open window on the VPVR, which basically shows a gap in terms of money flow and price history. When bullishly, we were able to break above 4,600, blasted through 5,000, and basically chugged around 5,500 for a while before we did the last leg of our parabolic move. And the VPVR clearly shows there's kind of a window here, almost a gap, where if we get down to that 5,500, 5,400 area there, we're kind of finding some chop, obviously, but there's not a lot until we get to right around $4,700. And we know from previous videos that also corresponds with our overall fib retrace of right around 78.6%, again in that 4,700 area. So another example of potentially another kind of signal that break of 5K, or at least test of 5K, can be achieved based on kind of what we're seeing on the charts here.
Yeah, can you do me a favor and just pull that VPVR chart back up, that tweet you had?
Yeah.
So we had a meetup the other day, and this is one of the funny things we talked about, and we just talked about this over in one of the members areas also, is look at the giant block below. You see the very giant block right here? I think everybody can see
The
my,
big one here.
the big one
Sub
right here.
sub 1,500, basically.
Sub 1500. So one of the
Okay.
things, so we had this very in-depth discussion with our little, we had a little crypto meetup in Vegas. And one of the things I was trying to get across to people is where you would see Bitcoin as a value. And I think this chart is really good. This is great. This shows the chart where I also would feel it's a value. If you see your kind of step off right here between in the 4,200 range,
Mm-hmm.
right? And look, a lot of people, look at a lot of money flow came in between 42 and 4,700,
Yep. Yep.
right? And then your next step down, where I think listen, if we go deep, I still think that this is the deepest we go is this 2,600 range right here.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the point that I made to people is that what a lot of people don't understand is, of the 21 million Bitcoin that are out there in the ether right now, in the space,
17 million.
17
17
million,
million.
17 million that are out there. Of those 17 million Bitcoin that are out there, that 80% of those Bitcoin were purchased between $800 and $1,100.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, and you need to understand that the people who control those Bitcoin were literally buying Bitcoin for between $800 and $1,150, and it's an insane. We're talking millions and millions of Bitcoin, people. People are
Mm-hmm.
sitting on millions and millions of Bitcoin that they bought at $850, $1,100, and in fact, there's I don't even know, but there's people who are sitting on stockpiles of Bitcoin that they bought at like $200,
Yeah.
right? And if you want to know where a value is and what the price is of Bitcoin, and one of the discussion points we had was, where would you go out and tell somebody, hey, this is worth it, buy Bitcoin. This is the spot. And I said, where would you go tell your mom, your dad to put their life savings into Bitcoin, where you thought that, hey, that Bitcoin was a great value? And we had a bunch of different answers, and surprisingly, some people were like, "I think Bitcoin is a really good value at 60." Now it was only at 6,500 yesterday, right? So they
Hmm.
were saying when we had this meetup, and they were saying, "Hey, I think $6,500 is a great value."
Hmm.
And I said, well, I wouldn't personally tell my mom to put her life savings in Bitcoin or even buy one Bitcoin. But I personally feel, looking at your map that you have there, that this is a good representation of where value is. And you can see those stub out points on the side. These stub outs are where I feel good valuation is. I think that 40, 30 to 4,400, that 25 to 33K, those are all value places where I think you can really get a good takeoff to the next level. What's your thought on that? Where do you personally see Bitcoin being a great value where you would take your hard-earned dollars and put it into Bitcoin?
I'd say around $3,000. I'd say if I see anything 3,000 to, let's just say this: if I see anything that has a two in front of it, I don't care what happens after that. I would be buying Bitcoin and hodling Bitcoin. Any Bitcoin price level I see that has a two followed by whatever. And if it goes to a one followed by whatever, I'd buy that too. I think from the chart perspective, from the VPVR, which clearly shows it can get as low really as almost $1,800 to $1,500 before you really start seeing these areas here of mega kind of price, large load ups, big lots of load ups. As you said, people were buying, like hundreds and thousands of Bitcoins. Even at $1,000, a whale could buy a significant amount of Bitcoin that that could be meaningful in terms of price action at this coin here. So these are areas that I keep an eye on. But again, to get down to here, even to get down to 3K, we still got to get bearishly through the 4,700 area, and in so many representations, we've basically seen that continuously, pop up on so many areas, and even pulling like a fib from, it's kind of it's up to the market to determine kind of where the bottom is. Where do you start your fib? But let's just say, a break of our previous all-time high at around, what was it, like $1,100 when we broke? No, it was over than that. It was at $1,200. So, if I want to start my zero line here at about, $1,200, and put a fib retrace, down to 78.6, that's at 5,300. Now again, who's to say other people have this fib starting lower, 1,000, basically this top here at 700, and that would clearly put our fib right at our $4,800 area. But again, what I've seen in previous times, we basically flushed mega bearish, is we basically break through that major, support line, and we end up flushing out a couple $100. And that's why I feel, if we break that 5750, which is our current 2018 lows, we will test 5K. We will break through it by several $100 and find an initial support somewhere in the $4,700 area for a decent bounce opportunity. But I would not be convinced that that's our new low opportunity and that we're going to go, up from there, because of just the rules of the parabola and the fact that this was a tremendous, historic, unprecedented bull move. We had seen it come in other charts as well, other altcoins as well. We talk about Litecoin leading the way. We talk about the bearishness of Ethereum. Are those forerunners for really how low stuff can be? Ethereum can go from $1,400 to $200 currently, and there is definitely reason to think it could touch 150 or lower. If Litecoin can hit 420 and currently be at
194
like
right now.
$60, yeah.
And
So
dropping.
if
And dropping.
yeah, so if those can go that bearish, and if Bitcoin is kind of your last bastion, the one that will sell off at the very end, the one you're going to liquidate after all your shit coins are liquidated, then yes, we could see levels like that. And again, if the market sees that Bitcoin's at 5K, 4K or lower, it's going to see that as well. If it's at 4K, maybe it can be at 3K, and if it's at 3K, maybe it can be lower. Not until we have that real capitulation moment, that real Wyckoff accumulation zone, that takes a while, and we can just go back to 14 and see what happens when you do have a parabolic move, and then you do have an unwind, and then you have to take a long time to find an area here where the market agrees that we're done selling off, potentially one last dump, and then we begin our next move higher. Now, news events will obviously change the kind of rate and kind of time frame we're talking about here. ETFs, Wall Street, etc. These are things that can definitely turn this acceleration on, but until we stop putting in lower highs, until we stop putting in lower lows, then this trend will continue. And if we break that 2018 low of 57.50, then everything we talk about is currently in play. Everything down from 57.50 all the way down to 5K, 4K, 3K, 2K, and lower, because everything gets put in play. And that's that panic. That's that kind of capitulation that potentially probably has to happen before we can basically turn a corner with Bitcoin and potentially the entire market as a whole.
Yeah. Ugh. Eek. All
If,
right. Yeah. Let me take a look here. Okay. One thing I want to do. So we've kind of gone through it. So give us actually, Chung, give us your TA just right now where your targets are.
Sure. So
We'll do Bitcoin first. Why don't we do Bitcoin
yeah.
first?
Well, let me just kind of bring up a couple areas. So obviously we have to keep in mind our current low for the year, 57.60. We're not that far from it. We're only about $400 away from. So in between now and $400, I still have our lower support line, and I still have our current fibs in play based on what I feel is a valid one-to-one extension of our bear break. Now, we didn't have kind of like a we didn't have kind of like this little test dump first. We just fell off a cliff instantly here. So because of that, I'm kind of really set my fib literally where we basically fell off our cliff to our low, to our only high we were able to get here. And basically say that if 6132 fails to hold, we might go up and kind of retest my EMAs, get up to around 6300, which was our low here, which we actually found support on as resistance now, clearly a resistance zone, right, at 6,300, where we tested, held, and then broke bearishly from. So a back test is definitely possible. But these areas, 61.8, 58.77, again, we're not going to fall off a cliff instantly. We've already fallen enough. I'm sure you talked about our RSIs and kind of on higher time frames and how they're not really in the areas yet where they'll be super oversold yet. But I want to, if I could just bring up one thing here, and I put a quick tweet out on this here, which was our Bitcoin CME futures are closed right now. They closed at 64.35. They open tomorrow night, Sunday evening on the East Coast of the U.S. And depending upon where our price action is, if it's anywhere lower than 64.35, it's going to open up a gap. And basically, this one here basically shows that, let's just say hypothetically, we open right where we're at tomorrow night. We kind of hover this level here. Then we have a gap basically up to at least 64.35, meaning I feel at some point the price action on Bitcoin intraday has to get up to at least 64.35 to fill a probable gap that will show itself in the next 24 hours, meaning that there's a reason why we can get up at least, a couple $100 from our current price levels. And that could coincide with some of that backtest areas I talked about. But there's nothing that says we can't go. There's nothing that says we can't go lower and test that break of 6K again. Now it's held, what, 3 times so far? So I expect it to hold once again initially, but we're seeing the market lose faith in these price levels here, and we talk about how much coin the miners are holding, the exchanges may be holding, and if they start to panic and feel that 6K is a value to take to cash out, then you could have that fire sale where you just have just an insane amount of liquidations, and we can see that stops hitting and stuff happening there. And we've been also watching our longs and shorts. We're flirting again with all-time high levels. We haven't hit it yet, and I feel like we're kind of just chilling out here and resetting a little bit to kind of take that next leg higher to break through those all-time high levels. And I think this is either profit taking or just all right. Because listen, like it's been some good short money been made the past couple days here. Let's face it here. This was good money here. So let's take some profits, see what's going on. Maybe Bitcoin can prop up a couple $100, and then just watch this to see when it starts to reload. And you might be able to see a situation here where we take that next leg lower in Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and the other thing is too is I was looking at the shorts on the RSI. The RSI on the shorts level is super low. It's actually headed in the southerly direction. Oh, I can hear
Yeah,
some.
I
I
mean,
can hear some echo in the background.
oh,
Can you hear that?
sorry about that. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
good. Yeah, I mean, again, like they're not that overbought yet. I mean, from a daily standpoint, yeah, the Stoke is getting up there, but not like super toppy. And the RSI, like, look at, we've seen areas where it can get way above 70. We're only
Yeah,
at 55 on the daily. So this shows that it kind of wants to retest those ATH areas, man.
yeah. All right, so let's take it. We're gonna switch over. And we're gonna take a look at Ether first. I'm gonna pull up Ethereum. Wow. So here's my original fib chart for Ethereum. This is my chart. It shows how far bounces occur all the way back. And I came back up here. One of my old spots, if you guys go and take a look at my old charts, I just posted these on Twitter. My original call for was $195. That target has been hit. There were my arrows, all of my trace backs. You guys can go and see all of these corresponded with pretty much damn perfect targeting of Ethereum all the way down. Now, the next stop for Ethereum is looking pretty damn ugly, okay? So we really at this point need to stretch way out here in Ethereum and see where the possible next spots are. And historically speaking, so we're going to find ourselves some support right here. $174. Nope, that's $180. So $180. Below that, I would throw us into the 155 area. And probably throw us right here in the 155 area. Now, if you go over and you do your extended fib, and I can let Chone do that if he wants to do that. Do you want to pull that back? You want to do your fib extension?
Sure.
Okay. Boy, I can hear that feedback.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right,
Okay.
and go for it, buddy.
All right, so I'm going to pull up on Ethereum, and then okay, and let's take a look here. So hold on, let me hide my. This is funny. I've done all these things. I haven't used my Ethereum chart in a while. I have all these crayon markers here. All right, so one. I mean, yeah, this is.
Ugly?
It's ugly because we're not. This is still going here. I mean, this is
Oh,
totally still going here.
did you see that article the other day?
Which one? Oh, about how all the ICOs are dumping
Dumping.
Ethereum.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
13,500 Ethereum were just dumped on the market.
yeah. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, I mean, listen. Well, we're right there. We're back at that $200 level, where I mean, we should hold. What's interesting though is that our RSI is not as low as we've been in previous super bearish areas. Now, both times when our RSIs and our dailies have been in this area, they've been good long opportunities. they've actually played out pretty good if you've been relatively patient. Um, but we have our Stoke again reset here. But the question is, can you dump another $50? Sure. $25? Sure. Because these ICOs kind of the only more or less tangible, valuable asset they still have on the books is their Ethereum that everybody sent them, to basically exchange for their tokens. And just to do a VPVR look, we see, here's another example of kind of our window here where if we're unable to significantly hold, let's say, the 190 plus area, we kind of there's not a lot between here to like 130 to 150, right? And then from there, we're talking about like $90. And I don't see why those can't be in play if we're unable to find significant support in this area. And until Ethereum becomes an actual value, a feeling that it's an actual decent value here, then it's going to continue to kind of capitulate. And, it's kind of tough to figure out. Let's see, one, two. I mean, it's kind of tough to figure out kind of where we are here in the overall kind of cycle here. I mean, maybe this was fun. Maybe it's something like that. And if that, so that would give our 5. Yeah, see, we're right at a 1-to-1 of this 3 wave down, and 3 wasn't that. It was 7. Well, I guess it was $300, but I don't know. I don't know if this feels extended. It doesn't really feel like. Oh, let's see. Let's check it. What was on for 1-to-1? Was 618. Yeah, so that was kind of extended. So yeah, let's say 5 goes. Well, right now we're at a 1-to-1. So yeah, I mean, again, $185. $185. 208. Yeah, 208 broke. A wick. $200. Yeah, I mean, $200. If 200 fails, then yeah, we're going to a buck and a quarter. Buck and a quarter.
Damn.
And there's precedent for that based on our price action and based on, interesting, look at that, this bottom wick here we had when we had our first big move and then big pullback and found support right at the 618 of that pullback. That is right at around $140 to $130. And that kind of falls in that area there, which would be an extension of wave 3, which only went to 1.236 of wave 1. So these are all kind of valid. These all play out here. So 126 is telling us that we could fall another like 60, $70 in Ethereum, which would totally put our daily RSI, in the depths. But where does it put our weekly? Yeah, our weekly isn't even down to where we can be, which is 25, and we're only at 32 on the weekly. So that shows we can go lower too.
Jesus.
So sub 150 Ethereum is definitely in play.
Yeah.
And that would correspond with a Bitcoin testing that 57, potentially even lower, $5,700.
Yeah, I'm just adding that onto my. All right, so let's take a look. Here's my chart. Here's my Ethereum chart. So I did a pretty good job calling this thing all the way down to right here. Now, I do feel we're going to get a bounce in here somewhere. There's got to be some sort of a bounce. In the members area, this is where I told everybody to place your stop losses. So you had historic support right here at 220, 219, and then your next stop was right in this area right here. You can easily find that when you throw the TD indicators on your charts. You just start wheeling back. Right, you'll find it. There's the 6 hour. So there's the first one. You see the red dotted line right there? So there's your first one, and then you pull it back to 4 hours, and there's your second red dotted line. Okay, so this is historic support and resistance right here. So these would be the 2 locations that I would put my stop losses at or above if we did get a bounce right here. Now you're going to be held down by the 7 moving average. I'm going to slide this over perfectly, okay? So you are being held down by the 7MA. So this was a good target. So if you are looking for something here, you can get a little bit of a retrace possibly, right? And then I see this falling out for one last charge down. And let's do that red. Now you do have multiple targets here, so you could hit there's a 179. That's historic. Your next one would be 162. So we'll put a smaller bubble right here. Right, and so you kind of got that right there. So these would be my targets. I still could see this popping back up right here, giving us a little bit of a recovery rally, just a little relief rally maybe, and then going down. Now that doesn't happen. I mean, then you're just going straight down, and you're gonna pop back up here to this 1618. All right, now let's go over here. So I'm gonna pull these off. It's my fib extension. And what I want to do is I want to throw a regular fib line on here and kind of see where we're at and how far we did. So on this drop to that 9 right there, you see we came right back to the 236. Okay, so this is a great rally. So this is good. So this correlates with a good bounce up, right? And then the continuation down. Now, just like Chon says, it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. This is looking 5-ish right here, right? Could possibly be 5-ish, or this could be, you could be looking for the 3 inside of the wave 4 inside of the 3 here soon, and then that would give you a little bit higher bounce. But somewhere in here we're gonna get a pretty good bounce. And oh, sorry. So if this did possibly come down to here, right, then you would be looking to go from here, come up there, right? So you're going to look at something like this. This is kind of what I would be looking at, something like that right there. And then a continue, and then I'd make my move from there. Right, I don't think we're gonna break out over right here, so I think this is we're gonna stay in this range, fall out, and once we fall out, then we'll get a chance to retest back up. And I better throw a line on here, so right there. All right, so this is kind of my targets for Ethereum right here. And hold on a second, I'm gonna switch this over to Chon. Go for it, buddy.
Yeah, I agree with all that on Ethereum. I actually pull up a Bitcoin Litecoin comparison on the monthly because we were trying to look for kind of Litecoin leading the way, if you will, in terms of its bearishness and kind of is it setting a trail for Bitcoin. And just using my Bollinger Bands and seeing where initially when the price touched the middle BB on the monthly chart on Litecoin, found support and actually had a nice little bounce. But then it failed to hold support, failed in the back test, and has been basically, resistance ever since. Now, last month, August, was the first touch for Bitcoin, and it had a nice little rally, similar to what happened with Litecoin here. And now it's literally on it once again on the monthly middle Bollinger 6165 on Bitcoin here, and holding. And I think that it's doing what Litecoin did just a month or two behind it, and at some point will fail to hold support on the middle BB, show it as resistance, and kind of something interesting here. Note where Litecoin found support at $49. So it broke 50. There was a big flush of orders. There was a wall at 50. It blew through it, and then that was actually an oversold bounce and a nice oversold bounce. It went from 49 all the way to 69, and maybe 49 to 69 in Litecoin. It tells us something of maybe 4,900, 4,700 area. Bitcoin could introduce a very nice bounce, oversold bounce, if we get down there and a nice little relief rally or a larger bounce, and we haven't had, we talk about how we've been bouncing the past couple times. We put in a, an inverse head and shoulder, and then we put in a kind of smaller version of an inverse head and shoulder, but we haven't had kind of a V bottom or capitulation V bottom in Bitcoin, since February. And maybe we're due for something like this, a weekly candle that's incredibly long and has an incredibly long bottom wick, because we basically get crazy bearish and then we actually find some buyers in a very oversold area and are able to move up. Currently, our lower BB on Bitcoin's weekly is at a little over $5,200. Again, an area I expect some initial support if we get down there. But with only one more day left in this week, okay, and this weekly candle is a very clean Maribozu candle currently, barely a wick on either end here. So we're going to see if we can get a little of this bought up, because currently we are triple engulfing bearishly our previous 3 bullish weeks on the daily, and this does not add a lot of confidence, into the chart or into the Bitcoin stratosphere. And I'll indicate kind of about to look at that. Our MACD, we barely were breaking bullish on our weekly, and now we're back to breaking bearish. I mean, what a tease this was, right? So we're again on that knife's edge, and it's just a matter of time before we see something happening here. And listen, this is a market driven now by a lot of news events and whales. So either a whale steps in, Tether starts printing, or some interesting and meaningful news event happens that gives us a little more direction in the market.
Yep, no, I agree. All right, so let's take a look, and I just kind of want to go through the just a really quick recap of the Bitcoin charts right here for everybody. Oh, sorry. All right, so let's take a look at our moving averages first. So we're going to peel ourselves back. Let's go to the weekly, just like Chon did. So we're going to pull back the weekly. Right? Nice. Really ugly. Now, look at here. Yeah. So I want you to take a look on this. Let me pull up a new chart. I want to pull up a brand new chart. And load new chart. No. All right, let me pull the volume off. All right. So let's start out here at the weekly, and the weekly gives us a really good picture kind of where the support is, right? So here's our weekly. Let's look back historically, okay? And we can see where we have this support historically on the weekly, on your weekly chart. If you take a look, and I'm going to use this tool right here, right? You see that there it is right there, right? So there's your support, okay, for the weekly. So we do have a lot of support right here historically based on the weekly chart. I mean, look at this. We came down and just great job, right into this area. It's funny because my kryptonite zone used to be up here, the 6450. This has now gotten destroyed. I mean, this kryptonite area right in here was super tough to get through. We've now just bashed through it. And if this does close out as a weekly candle, right, in a couple days without a pullback, if this does close lower down here into the 5,800 range over the next couple days, this is going to be a decisive candle close for Bitcoin, right? And you would look to start to target where are your historical support right there. There's 69.48. And then you got a nice little chunky area right here, in the 6,800 range. Look, you got these wicks there. You've got that all there. So you've got, we're going to kind of throw that right there. So just looking at a weekly overview, this is where your support levels would lie, Okay, so this is what I would be looking at is if this does fall through, where would this be falling to? And there's you've got some pretty good target areas. Now, pretty good areas for a bounce. One area we do have to watch for, and I've shown this on the other charts, is you really got to watch for this bounce right here, because this would be a bullish bounce. If we come down here and test this off, we showed this on our fib chart, that this would be a bullish bounce bouncing off right here. Okay, so now we're gonna let me print this. All right, so just like Chone said, extremely bearishly engulfing. Okay, let's break this down to the 3-day. Just ugly. Possibly looking to once again close this candle down. No crosses. I don't see any crosses right here. Oh, damn it. My Binance. Crap. Okay, it's all right. So we'll come down to our 2-day. Yeah, you know what? Let me switch exchanges on this stupid thing. There we go. Now we're better. All right. Okay, so here we go. Our 2-day. Let's take a look at our 2-day. Now, we have a bearish cross on our 2-day. Okay? So we have a bearish cross, and this is crossed, right? In order for this to uncross, you're going to have to get a substantial bounce out of this. On the 2-day, it looks like we're putting up 3 black crows that are marching down right here. So this looks like 3 black crows are being printed right now. On the 2-day chart, look, we're getting right now on the 2-day chart. Let's go down here. We're gonna, we talk about that historic area, and there it is. This is all you got to do. You got to come down here, draw something out like that. You can see every time we come down here, right? We get TF, right? So you get TF that occurs right here, and as soon as TF occurs, we get a bounce. So TF happened there, TF happened there, TF happened here. So every time this happens, every time you get a TF event, you see that you bounce off, right? And if people want to know what that means, it's the tether fairies, right? So you get the tether fairies. When the tether fairies show up, you get the tether fairies, and as soon as the tether fairies get a hold of this, they will not let this pass, right? So right now we are looking for the tether fairies to appear, and I am just waiting. I'm waiting for the tether fairies. They're going to fly in somewhere, and as soon as the tether fairies fly in, they're going to fly in around here sometime. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for the tether fairies. It might be, the tether fairies are in here. They're hiding. And they're really sneaky, but they're definitely inside of here, okay? And I think if the tether fairies appear, I think the tether fairies are going to appear right in this $6,000 range, right? That's kind of where the tether fairies like to appear. All right, so there's our 2-day. So we're going to name this the 2-day tether fairy chart, okay? 61 BTC TF. All right. Okay, so we got that. All right, so there's our 2-day chart. We're now going to break this down into a 1-day chart. Jesus Lord. 1-day chart tomorrow, you have, actually, let me go back to my 2-day. Okay, so the 2-day, so we're going to go like this. 2-day has bear cross, and that would be the 7 and 50. All right. All right, there we go. So there you go. So this is, so on the 2-day, you've got a bearish cross. On the daily, you've got a bearish cross pending. It will happen tomorrow. All right, on the 12-hour, nothing. You're all good. 6 hour. I mean, we're just blowing away all the MAs right now. They're just being left in the dust. 4 hour. You do have this 30-day charging down. It will pass through the 200. That doesn't usually help me. That's not very bearish. I wanted to pull back to the weekly. See what I have over here in the weekly. Nothing. Now on the weekly, one of the things I would like to go down here, and there's your support. So 5,200. You got a lot of support down there. 5,200 on the weekly and monthly. Nope. 3-day. Okay, oh, look at that. So there is your 200 MA, right? This 200 MA, you are going to get a bounce on the 200. I'm guaranteed. So the 3-day has the 200 MA at 6K, right? So this is going to be heavy support. Okay, 200. Looks like it's about 6607 right there. Right there we go.
Hey, Vamp.
Yep, go for it.
The last time on the 3-day,
Okay, go ahead. You can see your charts. You can see your charts. Go ahead.
cool. The last time the MA200 was touched and tested as support on the 3-day was Bitcoin price of $350. And that's on the 3-day chart. So since
that was
that
way
touch
Never.
of $350 in January 16th, the MA200 on the 3-day has acted as very strong support all the way up. And as Vamp just said, we are as close to it as we've been in 2.5 years. And we got very close initially here when we touched down 5,800 back in August. And once again, we're getting closer to touching it as well. And that is definitely notable. I also want to note something else on the 3-day chart. We did break. So our Bollingers here are actually pretty flat, pretty stable. We have a pretty flat upper and a pretty flat lower. And we did break bullishly here, this wick here on our upper. And that gave us roughly a 5% break above our upper Bollinger in this only 3-day candle. So this was probably a day where we broke bullish, touched $8,500, and then we were hovering there 85. A comparable 5% break of our lower Bollinger is less money because it's a lower price, so it's only about $300 break, and that would put us somewhere around the $5,300, $5,400 area. So that's kind of an example of we can break extreme this way on a bullish break of 5%, then we can probably do the same thing on a bearish break of equal amounts. And that will give you a sense that if we end up getting down there, breaking through our lower BB support, especially on a higher time frame like the 3-day chart, that would qualify as an area outside of the standard deviation and potentially an area of an oversold Bitcoin price and an opportunity to scalp it along.
Yeah, wow. I tell you what, that 200 MA on the 3-day, that is
Very close, super close.
yeah.
That's a great call there because that really is. I zone. And you're right. This is it. This is our first time in a very long time we're getting close to that.
Yeah, that is that's and trust me, people, that will act as support. So you could see this get hit, wick through, and then to shoot to Chone's lower Bollinger Band, and then when that came through and did tap the Bollinger Band, you'd be expecting a bounce there. So very
Yeah, at least the bounce, or if it breaks through, I consider that an open area. Great scoop up to compensate for being oversold by the break of the lower BB on this high time frame 3-day chart.
Yep, yep. No, I agree. All right, so let's kind of so that this is all I've got really for just looking at the moving average crosses. So there's that. The next thing we can go over and take a look at is our Ichi chart. So we looked at our Ichi chart the other day, just earlier, and I just threw out two targets for you. So you have historic support that we came down and we're almost at, which is 6,052. So you could look for this to come back down, tap the 6,000. We are in the bear target one, so I did call this bear target one. I'm now going to take this. I'm going to slide this down here, right? And this is kind of your historic resistance zone now. This is moved down to here. So if this bounces, you would see a bounce up to here and then trail this back down. Now we're just watching this. We're watching the Stoke over here on the 12-hour. And listen, this is all this is going to do. It's just going to skip along the bottom right here. The best thing we can do is we can just hope for this to come up and break out. I do want to bring up one other chart that I have been. Yep, sorry, I got to switch over to my chart. There we go. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, I will show you that one more time. Sorry. Here's the Ichi chart. Here's your historical resistance. We did come down into the first target. There is my second target. This also does correspond. Now, this would be a wick out of the 200 MA on the 3-day chart. This would also correspond with the 3-day Bollinger Band chart that you just saw with Chon. And then you can come all the way down here. You guys can see that we will just be skipping on this as this skips along on the Stoke. Here is your historical resistance chart. It's up here, 63.51. I do want to bring over this chart right here. Now, I'm going to update this. Give me one second. Let me update this. All right, okay, so this is updated. Okay, if you guys had seen my targets, here were my targets I had. So you've got this wedge. Here's your bottom wedge line. I still am looking for this to get tapped. I want to see this get tapped, 59.23. So this is my 1, 2, 3, 5, 9 chart. So, this is my chart this with my TD counts on it. Just did play out pretty well, so I'm looking for this still to get tapped here. Now, if you are looking at your larger chart, this is ugly. All right, this is really ugly. Don't look down here yet, okay? Just there's no reason to look down here until we break through the 6,000 range. I do want to show you, here is kind of what our members are watching right here. So this is what our members are watching. This is how I placed my stop losses with the members. So if you go down to the 4-hour, you can go all the way back here. You see these little red dots right here? Little red dots, this is where you can set. Now this is really tight. This is tight stop loss right here. So you want to get right, you want to be very conservative. 62.33, I would give it a little tick over. So I'd go a little bit above. Your next one, so you see your little red dots up here. This is on your high side. If you want to really be conservative here, if you want to be really loosey-goosey, 63.82, you could put it just right above that. You see these red dots? You get these red dots, they line up when you add on your TD indicator. Okay, here was my call. I drew out this chart. This chart was drawn out before there was a top of the wedge here, and I kind of had two options for where I thought this chart would play out. If you look, guys, you can look on my Twitter page. It's actually the chart played out perfect. My count did not. Okay, my count didn't play out perfect, but my chart did really, really well. And we got all the way up to 64.77 in the members area. I mean, we called this. It was a really good call. Then we called everybody to pull a short on this. It was a huge short. We had a lot of people making a lot of money. Now, we telling everybody right down here, go ahead, feel free, take some profits. It's okay. You can do it. You can take profits right here because we do, you still have the possibility this comes up. Now, if you want to take a look at your 2-hour chart, here's your 2-hour chart, and you can see also where these historic resistances also are. So there's another one at 63.13, and there's another one right here at 63.42. You can feel free to play any of these if you're just going to play this as a swing trader. So if you want to keep playing this as a swing trader, you're just going to put your stop losses up here, and you're just going to let this play out. Now, if you're going to play this as a day trader, you're going to probably close your position out right here. You're going to take all the profit you've made from this drop that we just called. You're going to take all the profit right here. You're just going to stick it in your little piggy bank because you're playing with house money now. And you're going to wait, and you're going to see if this retraces and how high up this retraces. You're just going to set the alarms on your phone, and you're going to try to catch this at a higher level. call before you short it again, right? Because you are going to be shorting the corn again. We're going to have one more call to short the corn, and we're going to be looking for this. Now, I have not taken any profits right now, right? Because I am swing trading, and trust me, I'm so tempted to take some profits right now. I mean, my trade is massive. I'm super like excited about it, right? But if you come and you start to look here and you say, okay, let's kind of dig into this chart. Where are we? Right here. Okay. So here would have been your high side, right? There you go, right? So here would be your retrace areas. So you'd be looking like you're really close. So you're really close to the first one. There's your second one, right? So here would have been your first retrace, right? Back to the 236, right? And then here you go. Here's your second retrace. If this bounces all the way back, you get back to the 6277, and then from that point, I just feel it's going to fall out again. Right now, this is a great play. If you want to get, you want to get all frisky with this and try to pull a scalp, you can. You can try to scalp this area, but I think longs are very risky here. I think you'd be better off in at least sleeping on a long. I would sit in this trade if you want to be awake and try to play this long trade right here as a long. That's great. Look at this great candle you pinned off there. This is a great reversal candle. Then it was followed by a spinning top candle. So this is two really, really good reversal candles on the 2-hour chart right here that got printed up, telling me, yeah, this is you can go back up here to 6277 before I would then be looking for the fall, the final fall out, to at least test right down here to the 6K range. I'm still looking for the ultimate test of this range. I want to test this. Right? This is what you've got. You've got a lot down here, right? So we want to test this range. Now, pulling back up is really bad because what this does is this pulling back up here is really, really bearish in all actuality because it resets your indicators. You get a nice reset, and that would be the skipping that you see along the bottom. You're going to get that skipping, and then this thing is just going to dump out, and you're all going to get your asses handed to you if you're still in a long, right? Let's take a look at Neo. Yesterday I went on, I was making fun of a couple of Twitter god TAOG's calls. You had somebody who was calling Neo long. He'd called Neo long hardcore, and I went on there to see if any of his followers had survived the call. And it was pretty funny. I actually had a couple of people responding to me, what should we do now? And somebody had bought back in at $19 after the fall. And I was just like, dude, you are crazy, man. I said, good luck to you. All right, Chone, what do you got, brother? Go for
Yeah,
it.
that was great. I just got one more thing to kind of talk about. We're on a red 5 daily here, and we can still bleed out and rise and still keep our red count because of how far we've fallen and how far we are from our back county here. I still expect at some point another test of around the $6,400 range before we have our ultimate probable breakdown, if you will. But I don't know if that's going to be after we retest 6K or lower or during this current move here. This candle, I mean, we do not have anything like a tweezer bottom currently compared to our previous candle. Yeah, we could definitely find some stability here and maybe give a chance to reset some of our indicators. We see on our Stoke here, we see what happens when we are up here. We were down here below our 20 for 15 bars, both indicators. We were up here above our 80 with 2 of our bars for 15, or 2 with both of our indicators, 15 bars. So once again, we are getting back down and pancaking in our reset Stoke area. And we saw it took both of our indicators flatlining for several days before we actually started to rise bullish here. So keep an eye on this. We are completely reset on both indicators, but they can still flatten out for several days before we have any move higher. And maybe our RSI can reset a couple notches and raise a little bit higher. A little bit higher, a little bit higher. But again, that only allows it to then potentially drop further at a lower price point that is currently being set in. And I'm consistently seeing, a bearish divergence on our OBV and our 4-hour, which has yet to give me any sense that any kind of major, turn of direction has changed. Every time I seem to put in some sort of a resistance line, it kind of seems to hold more or less going down. So until this changes, until we can put in higher lows on OBV and other indicators, any bounce we have, I don't have a lot of faith in, but I still see a reason to get up to at least 6,400, and I see many reasons to again retest our 6K and 2018 low area of 5750 in the coming days. And tomorrow is our candle close, and our candle is extremely bearish, and I don't see any major move, or at least let's say save any major move tomorrow and overnight. It will probably close more or less this way, and that isn't really a way to kind of start an uptrend, I don't think, yet. And we're not really oversold yet. I mean, we have seen what oversold can be, and we're not really there yet. I keep watching our equilibrium on the RSI here, and we talked about this before, and we are currently breaking our support line that is held since June. That is notable, and if this closes out tomorrow, then what was once support will then become resistance. And that's bearish.
Okay. All right. So, let's. I just for a second want to just go over and give a couple shouts out to people on Twitter. Here was the tweet I was talking about. Crypto Rand is the guy who was telling his Twitter followers to go long on. And then this is the poor guy who bought back in. He did a good job selling it. Then he bought back in. And then, yeah, so yeah, be careful. Listen, a couple things we want to give a shout out to Trading Room. Listen, the guy, he's family. Trading Room is super great. He's in the hospital right now. Not he's recovering. He did have a heart attack. He is recovering though, so he's going to be out for a couple months. We wish him well. We want him to get all the best to him to get healthy for us all. He's a really great asset for all of us. He's got tons and tons of years of trading experience. A couple other people out there. If you guys give a follow out to Satoshi Heavy. This guy does some absolutely amazing TA. If you guys are charting ETH or following ETH, this guy does just a really good job of charting ETH. So I would go over here, give Satoshi Heavy a follow. If you guys are looking at any ETH stuff, man, this guy is an absolute beast with his ETH charts, right? Does some really good work with his ETH charts. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on Twitter, young man? Yep. Oh, I lost
Trading
you.
Room. No, I don't really. I second your shout outs there. Definitely Satoshi Heavy, great follow. And of course, our friend Trading Map. We definitely hope he gets well soon.
Yeah, we've got a new guy also in the SMFX. This guy only does Forex. That's all this guy does. He just does Forex and Forex only. Yeah, so he's in the group now, also. And he's doing he's just doing Forex. He's got some absolutely amazing calls. These are the analytics of his calls. He does super well with Forex. Honestly, I need to get into that. I just don't know enough about it. All right. I would also, man, listen, I have got to say, if you have not had a chance to see Shill Gates' video, oh my God, you guys have got to go to Shill Gates, give this gentleman a follow. He is absolutely dying hilarious.
He tells it like it is.
Oh my God, dude. If you guys go down and watch his video, where's it at? Let me find this video. Oh my God, dude, this guy, I don't even know if I could play it on the show.
It's like
Where is
3 days ago. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I was peeing myself. This is it right here. This is so go find his September 2nd edition video. You guys will die. You'll just die. This guy is so funny. Oh my God. This guy is so freaking funny. He's a must follow. A must follow when you get a chance. So once again, that's Shill Gates. There he is. The real Shill Gates at the real Shill Gates. The guy is a hoot. He will definitely give you guys some entertainment value that you're all. One of the guy I did find Crypto Jeb, so I got pointed in this guy's direction a little while ago. Crypto Jeb making some really atrocious calls. So if you guys get a chance, how in the hell does this guy got 15,000 subscribers? Right? How does he get 5,000 views? How does this guy get all of these views? Thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And this guy just days ago was calling for the moon. How in the hell can you be that popular and that damn wrong? Okay, if you go watch his video, Crypto Jeb, here's the video. Why now is the best time to buy Bitcoin in all of 2018. This was printed September 4th, right? Right before the crash. And just reading the comments, right? Just read the comments below after this guy clearly says this is the best time ever to buy Bitcoin in 2018. And absolutely wrecked. He has 10,000 views. What am I doing wrong, people? What am I doing wrong? Do I need to be more bullish? Do I have to post? Do I have to get out there and post more shill? More bullish. What do they call it? Clickbait.
Show more skin.
Good call. Good call. That would give me less followers. All right, everybody. For the Chone and the Vamp and all of us at Until 1 Mil, man, we really appreciate you guys all giving us a follow. Oh, the Burb. Yes, please follow the Burb. The Burb is amazing. Please go give the Burb a follow. Love the Burb. Listen, thank you all so much for being here with us on your Saturday night. I'm about to go watch myself some UFC. And also, listen, we are going to try to put together another crypto meetup in the near future. I'll let you guys know. Chone, when are you going to Vegas, buddy?
I'm going to be there third week of October.
Okay. So Chone is going to be there third week of October. So I will also try to give. Oh, dude. And I will definitely try to be there when Chone is there. We're also going to be at one of the conferences coming up. And I would like to give a massive shout out to Tech right here. Tech is my true hero of all heroes. Dude, this guy is absolutely... Dude, this guy, I swear to God, 99% accurate. All right, one of the world's best traders ever. This guy is 99% accurate in his calls. You just go exactly the opposite direction. All right, whatever he does, you go exactly opposite. Dude, Tech, all right, look, people, just one sec. Tech lost $22,000 the other day. Can we all have just a moment of silence for Tech? All right, Tech. Poor guy, dude. Oh, Tech, join the group, buddy. Come into the dark side. Come join us. Poor guy lost 22K the other day. So I don't know if you guys saw my tweet with me and Tech. Dude, yeah, I know. Tech has lost 600 grand this year. Yeah, you are Gucci, man. If you guys get a chance and you go over to my page, me and Tech are actually pretty freaking hilarious. We had a really good tweet not long ago where Tech was making his call. And he wanted me to write it down, so I will share that one more time with us, just as have our little giggle on the way out the door here. Let's find our Tech. Where is it at? I'm going to find it. Where are you at, buddy? Oh, I'm going to find that tweet. Oh, I'm going to find that tweet. Oh, here it is. There he is. There you are, Tech. So Tech says, go real 85K. Go long to 85K. then 6,700, then 10K. He says, write this on down on a piece of paper, look at it every day, and then call him God afterwards. I said, so short hard now, then long, then short again, then pet your dog, get it God backward, dog, just do the opposite. Oh my God, he is a kick in the pants. And dude, for someone who is such a nice guy, dude, I've been trying to get him over in the group forever. Can we get, come on, dude. I'll give you a discount. You definitely deserve some kind of a discount. Yeah, CNBC, dude, no, dude, tech, CNBC has got nothing on tech. Tech is a beast, right? We do love tech, and we're going to try to get him in the group, recover a bunch of his money for him, because he is a true whale. He is a true Bitcoin whale. Let me tell you what, that guy, wow, he plays with big money. He is the man. So for Vamp and Chone and all of us here at Until 1 Mil, we'd like to say thank you all so much for joining us again. And we are out.
Peace.